Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you are doing well. It is our round 7 review and we have had another extremely good week. As you can see on your screens, we have moved into 1219 overall rank with a round rank of 302 on the week, 23-23 as the score, and there are a lot of things that are going really well in our side. In this video, I'm going to go through a bit of my team review, bit of my trade plans, early thoughts ahead of round 8. I don't want to spend heaps of time going through every single player individually, but I want to talk about the big talking points. Nazaya Wanganeen-Milera, what an absolute jet he is for the side. Time on ground's a little bit lower because of this midfield potential role that he's playing, but he is just getting heaps of the ball. 32 touches, 6 marks, 4 tackles, a goal again. Very happy having Nazaya Wanganeen-Milera. I brought him in here for that 112 against Richmond and has been a very good staple in our defence. Then Jaden Short just ticking along, doing what he does best. And then Matty Roberts and Riley Bice. The Sydney combo there in the defence for us is fantastic. Tom Stewart, who would have known where I would be ranked if it wasn't for Tom Stewart? Started the year with him, copped the 95 to start with and thought, what a pick. Dealt with this stuff here through the St Kilda Brisbane, got the Melbourne matchup and thought, all right, we're back. And then doesn't play against the Crows, 60 and a 44. We are sitting just outside the top 1,200 with Tom Stewart still in our side. And he might be in our side a little bit longer, but you'll see that at the end of the video. Midfield, this is the nuts and bolts of my side. I have nailed the midfield so far this season. Dawson probably could have been a bigger scorer as well. Was on 100 at three-quarter time. He is owned by 35% of the game. So he's not super unique, but if he went and popped a 120, not everyone in that top 1,000 would have Jordan Dawson. Connor Rozee at halfback looks absolutely fantastic for Port Adelaide. Has gone and put 300s on the bounce in this halfback role as well. And it only gets a little bit easier with the Bulldogs this week, albeit at Manuka, but I think he's still going to do really well. Then we have Adam Chera to go into that midfield. I'm just looking at him because he's been offered one game for his little ban, or for his little issue there on the week. So don't know what's going to happen with Chera. Back to the big boy midfielders though. Brayshaw, Dacos, 127 and 120 between the two of them. That top 4 midfield for me has just done so well since we've settled on that top 4. So can't complain at all about our boys at the top. Clary, Ashcroft and Chera all doing their job as needed. And then Lindsay at 98. So the fact that Clary at 88 was our lowest scoring midfielder, and we just absolutely smashed it out of the park. Rucks, I spoke all week last week about VCing gone, and then I absolutely panicked last minute and took the VC off of Maxi, which hurt a lot because I knew to back the matchup against Richmond. And then he goes against West Coast this week, which could be an absolute bloodbath for Max. I think, again, he could do really well, but he's gone 118, 125, 138 in the last 3. We'll see what happens in that game, but I feel like Melbourne might manage his minutes a little bit if Melbourne are ahead. So I'm a little bit worried to potentially be seeing him in the easy matchups, because if Melbourne are ahead, it looks like they will just put him on the bench. TDK, fantastic that he was able to finally break this run of 4 or 3 games where he went sub-100, so hopefully he can carry on, albeit Rob, Marshall, Grundy is a hard stretch for TDK, but it is what it is. Forward line, not fantastic this week. Our trade-in target, Christian Petrarca, was brilliant. Watching him on Thursday night was fantastic. Kicked 2 goals, looked really good. Got himself 7 marks, 4 tackles to go with his 28 touches as well. Just absolutely brilliant. And he's a quality player, and I think everyone's going to want to bring him in this week. McRae, Smith, Rankin, very happy with them. Ashcroft, starting to slow a little bit, break even of 61. I think he's probably made his cash. You know, he's got Gold Coast this week, but then he goes North and Melbourne. The matchups are there, but if you want to get off of him, you definitely could. Looking at the bench, Trainer, brilliant, looped him on, 73. We did sell Zach Reed, who scored 74, but we cashed in for Buslinger so that we could get the Petrarca move done. Christian Moraes, again, if I could get rid of him, I probably would as well. 452, done the job. Hugo Garcia, don't need to say much about this. Very unlucky that he was subbed out on 20 points. Just Ross being Ross, and Connor Stone, fantastic, did what he needs to do. Don't expect him to make heaps more cash, and we'll look to downgrade him very, very soon. So that is my side. 1219 overall rank. We've come in from 25,000 in round 1 into 1,219 at the end of round 7. We have absolutely marched our way up the overall ranking, which is fantastic. We're having a great start to the season. Early trade thoughts for me right now are a Hugo Garcia out and a Levi Ashcroft potentially out as well. So Tunstall's not who I'm looking at bringing in. Obviously was the sub. His break-even's 20. If he's named and not the sub, he is someone who I would look at because I don't have any DPP to move Garcia out of the forward line. So there's not a whole lot of forward options. So if I know that Tunstall plays and isn't the sub, then there is a world where I do go with a Tunstall. If a 230 forward emerges, then I probably just take the 230 forward and move on Hugo Garcia. And then I'm also going to get rid of Levi Ashcroft at this stage for Nick Martin. So I can buy any forward I like. What I like about Nick Martin is, I know the matchup wasn't great against Collingwood, neither were the conditions, and he scored an equivalent 72 in that game. His time on ground was a bit lower. But for a player like Nick Martin who wants to get up and down the ground and be involved in the play, I really like the matchups of North Melbourne, Sydney, Bulldogs, and Richmond in particular. I just think he's going to be fine long term. He's priced in there at 983, I believe. I definitely think he has potential to be a top 6 forward versus being a top 6 defender. And really the decision I have to make is between him and Horne-Francis. And yes, Horne-Francis has probably been a little bit better than expected this season with his floor. Like, he's had the one score there in the 60s, one in the 70s, and 2 in the 80s. I just think when I look at a midfield role against Bulldogs, Crows, Geelong, Fremantle up into the bye, I think I prefer the Nick Martin run, plus you get it all the way up to round 16. So you at least can hold Martin all the way through the byes, and then we should have the structure to be able to hold him in that round 16 bye, where at least with a Horne-Francis, I can probably move a Caleb Daniel, albeit they have the same bye. I could probably move a Caleb Daniel or a Jack Macrae out at round 13 and bring in Hornet for Macrae come that point, because I actually don't think Macrae long-term is going to be a top 6 forward, although he started the season like a house on fire. I just don't think the numbers are going to stack up for a Macrae long-term. So that's just my early trade thoughts. Let me know what you would do if you're in my position. Tom Stewart's the one that everyone's obviously talking about. I think I'm just going to hold at this stage. I think there's no point in selling him. At some point, everyone's going to want to bring in Tom Stewart if he gets into the 6s. If he sits at D5 for me, then so be it. I'll deal with it at that point. But I think there's no point wasting trades trying to move him up when I can move on Garcia and Ashcroft to bring in a Martin. It just makes my overall team better by getting rid of Ashcroft as well. So I'll have to keep an eye out on the news on Tom Stewart. But let me know in the comments what you would do if you're in my position, and if you want to get your questions in below, because I will be doing another stream this Wednesday. Like I did last week, it'll be a little bit later this week, but I will do a stream answering all of your trade questions on Wednesday night. So keep your eyes and ears open for that one. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The support's been fantastic lately, and I'll see you guys very, very soon for another video on the channel.